Yo, I'm very, very excited to be here, joined by the official Baddie Brigade. So I'm gonna introduce y'all. First, we got Sai. She was on last week, so you have a little bit of an introduction. So hey.
Hey, you already know it's Sai, and if you didn't know, now you know, and if you already knew, then hey, what's up? I'm excited.
All right, and then to my right, I have my girl Key. So you haven't been on the show, have you?
No, this is my first time.
So this is y'all's first time
Yes.
getting acquainted and acclimated with my girl Key. So yes, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Kiara Lene, also known as Key and Love More Studios. I'm excited to be here.
So, yeah, I mean this is the first of many that you will see the three of us up here doing the damn thing. You're also gonna see sometimes just Sai up here. Maybe she's with the artist. Maybe it'll be just me and Sai. You'll also sometimes just see Key, or maybe just me and Key, or maybe they gonna not have me here and I'll be somewhere fucked up. Okay. So yeah, this is the Dare to Defy radio team, the official Baddie Brigade, and we have so much more than just the radio show. So let's just talk a little bit about before we get into the tea, the real tea. Let's talk a little bit about where the Baddie Brigade kind of came
from,
and how we got here.
Okay. Damn.
Anybody?
Shoot. How it came about, honestly, I mean, as I told y'all last time I was here, me and Ari just kind of clicked instantly. We met at a networking event. And I don't really remember exactly how I met Key.
I do.
I think it was at your event, but I'm not too sure. But I don't know. We kind of all just been on the same path, but in our own lanes, like cohesively. So it's like I'll go to a lot of events and see them. They doing their thing. They'll see me. I'm doing my thing. And we kind of just, came to the realization like we're all really young out here doing this thing. Why not team up? Because I honestly feel like as much as people want to act like they don't need help, you need help. You need a team.
Absolutely.
So here we are.
I mean, I guess for me, I remember, the first time I seen Ari was like at a hippie hideout event. But the first time I talked to Ari was at Full Sail at Hall of Fame, actually. So it'll officially be a year since I've met you. Okay.
Big year.
And Sai, I think for you, it was at the boiling pot event.
Yes, that was your event.
When I actually saw you, I was like, okay, I gotta talk to her, like she dope as fuck. But yeah, just naturally being around y'all, gravitated towards y'all energy, powerhouse woman for sure. I love being around people who know what they want and is stopping at nothing to get it. So
very much.
I agree.
Yeah, so the Baddie Brigade is, it starts with us three, but the essence of it is just the fucking Baddie Brigade, a brigade of bad bitches who are on
taking over,
who are on their thing. I forgot we kind of have to watch cussing, so let's keep that to a minimal. That's difficult for me.
I'll be on my best behavior.
But with that being said, it's not just the radio show. Like I said, we're gonna have events coming to you guys, resources, women in the workplace, women workspaces, and things like that. Really just empowering women in entertainment, creative women that are in the tech field, all that kind of stuff, through our talents and what we have going on. So I'm super excited to just officially announce that and have us be here all together. Get used to it. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the tea. So me and Key were talking about this in the car, and we thought it would be a great segue and thing to just talk about in general. So first is we're going to be talking about Orlando entertainment, the Orlando entertainment scene, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to start with a conversation about, or the question rather, is Orlando too oversaturated with radio shows? So I posed that question. I'm going to ask for your guys' responses first.
I mean, I guess I want to start a little bit because I like that we don't wear one hat. Like, we're all women working in events and stuff like that. We do media as well, but then we're also artists, so we can kind of like have that aspect as well. At first, I even started the conversation with kind of thinking like, well, damn, it's like a lot of people who are starting to do the whole interview thing. They're starting to tap in with these radio stations, and they're really just trying to like, you know, do the whole conversation, start getting to know you. So I would say yes. But we're going to get into the tea.
We're going to get into the tea. Okay, so what is your perspective?
For me, I mean, y'all know I'm still fairly new to Orlando. This June would be 2 years since I've lived here. And honestly, the first like 6 months of it don't really count because I was like hiding and I had no friends. But with what I do know, I could honestly say the same because when I thought of starting my media page, I kind of said to myself, well, damn, if I'm going to start doing media, what is going to be different about my page than everybody else? Because I also notice everyone is like paying, you know, doing the artist interviews, doing the song reviews, doing the public interviews and all that. So it's like, damn, we all trying to do the same thing. So how are we supposed to like stand out and make what we're doing different? So I agree that it is. What's your thoughts?
So, I disagree.
Okay.
I agree in the sense that like everybody is trying to be on the same thing right now because, and we'll get into this later, it's a money play. It's a quick way to make money. So all these folks are trying to get into it without, you know, having the platform, having the background, like. I think that there's a lot of people doing it who shouldn't necessarily be doing it.
Right.
I don't say that like for a lot of people, like the known ones I feel like are cool doing what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of the new ones popping up, maybe you should let me not say too much. But the reason that I disagree, and this is the argument that I was making to Key in the car, is for the perspective of artists, like that's amazing. You want a whole bunch of people who want to be, you know, up in your face in a camera and asking you questions and posting about you to their audience. You want that to be oversaturated. It's so hard to find, in Orlando specifically, it's so hard to get in contact with music staff writers in newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. It is so inaccessible. It's so difficult to get in contact with your newspaper or your like local beat reporter. Like you can, but it's difficult. Like it's very difficult to break down those barriers, and like I said, it's just very inaccessible. So having a bunch of people around you who, it may be inaccessible if you don't have the funds, but
so I have a little,
but they're there.
something.
So yeah, I that's kind of my main point is that in overall it is good for artists to be able to have that many platforms and that many people to always be talking about them.
So I do agree with you on that, but I also could see it from the perspective that it could be a downfall, because if there are so many people doing it and there's a lot of people more so doing it for the money and not necessarily doing it to really help the artist, sometimes the oversaturation of all these things could hurt the artist, because you know they want that exposure, they want to be on these news shows or have an interview, but then you don't know who's really trying to put you on and help you get that audience and who's really just trying to take your money.
I agree, and I think that's always going to be the battle. Like that's literally just always going to be the battle.
I mean, but I guess that comes into artists doing their research, because like I can even say for myself, sometimes like, oh, I see the numbers are good and I see they got like the likes and stuff like that and the following, but like are they genuinely getting to know and connecting with these artists and finding out who I am?
What does the artist's page look like after, you know, what is the actual change? And if it's not, you know, a huge change, are you building their relationships from it? Are you getting any media from it? That's one of the things with I'll just use Magnifica and Dare to DEFY Radio as an example. Like all of the packages come with pictures, because it's important that there's that it's something tangible, that you're walking away with something. And that I feel like is, like you said, the artists need to do their research. They need to weigh out their options. They need to figure out what's right for their budget. And you're going to go through hiccups on that process of figuring out what's right and what's wrong. But that's just a part of the process. It really is. You're gonna lose money. You're gonna get fucked over. It's just gonna happen.
And it hurts.
It does. And my hope is that like we're able to have these conversations and prevent people from having to go through it. But most people do have to either get fucked over a couple times or whatever, so that they know, okay, I need to do my research. I need to look into who I'm working with. I need to spend my money more wisely, because that's really what it's about. Because the truth is, and I've talked about this before, if you can't buy a Big Mac, you shouldn't be. I shouldn't be talking to you about an interview.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just be smart about.
So what about those
money.
people who like, they really out here, like they really want to eat and sleep and breathe, but like they can't get it. Like they're really always dealt the worst fucking hands. I'm sorry, excuse my language, the worst hands.
I mean, honestly, I know this might be messed up to say, but you can't save everybody, and you can't help everybody. So at the end of the day, I mean, you know, you gotta play the hand you were dealt. Like, I can't help someone who doesn't have the financial funds, you know what I mean? That's not what I'm here for. So it's like, I could try my best to support you as an artist in ways that are, you know, beneficial to you. There's so many ways to support artists that,
your music.
you know, right, I'll reshare your stuff, you know, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the funds to do certain things, because honestly, to make it in this social media world, you have to have money. That's just what it is.
Because you gotta put out ads. Everybody think
Promotion.
that people just blow up. Like, it's just not how it works.
Yeah.
So I do want to segue.
All right.
Let's talk about like the Orlando underground audience and, you know, the people who pop out to shows. What is our overall consensus?
So I'll go first this time, because honestly, like I said, I haven't been here that long, but in the short amount of time that I've been here, I've been going to events like clockwork all the time, different, you know, hosted by different people, and I just kind of feel like the scene is starting to become, it's supportive but repetitive, in the sense that you're seeing a lot of the same faces, you're seeing a lot of the same artists, and I also do feel like, you know, everyone's kind of like clicked up, like what we were kind of talking about earlier, where it's like this group is hosting one set of type of shows, this group is hosting a different set, but within those groups it's the same people coming out. So it's like, where's the growth? If I'm performing in front of the same people every single time, and I'm paying to perform at that, what am I really gaining from performing a second, third, fourth, fifth time when I already got the exposure the first time?
Right. So I'll touch on that, because I like that you said like the clicked up thing, because that I think is really the crux of it, because there are so many events in Orlando. I put my Orlando event calendar together every month, and there's something going on dang near every single day. But that stuff, it's not promoted well. Yeah, I do research to find the events, and if you're not like me and willing to sit down for a couple hours every month and do the research, you're not going to find the events if you don't follow the folks on Instagram. So it's like, you have to, it's hard to infiltrate certain scenes. Like, I think for Full Sailors, we kind of have like a trajectory that you go on, where it's like you meet a couple people who know about something, and then you just are in that, you know, we perform for our circles is the statement that I said. And the issue is, I think that more people, you know, people need to promote their events better, but people also need to let each other know what's going on, because there a lot of the events that I've talked about, like, there are certain things that I'm like, I had no idea this was here, and then someone will be like, oh yeah, I'm at that all the time. I'm like,
why didn't
and you didn't tell, like weekly events and stuff like that, like, why didn't you tell anybody that stuff like that was happening? So I feel like it's a community thing, for sure. Like you said, like, people are very clicked up and just aren't mingling with each other to let each other know there's this huge network. There's a huge, like, grown and sexy crowd. There's a huge group of older folks. There's freaking Exodus United with the kids, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
cover all the bases in Orlando, where I just think that we get really complacent and we get comfortable, and then it makes it 10 times harder when people don't know how to push their stuff out. So yeah, that's my take.
I definitely agree with you on the comfortability, because I feel like, and I'm gonna touch on both sides, the promoter side and the artist side, because like as a promoter, they're comfortable with allowing the artist crowds and it just being that, and them not stepping outside of, oh, let me put that extra work in to go like find and tap into other people and other crowds. I'm just gonna be comfortable with allowing them to literally do all the work for
And
them,
watch
because it's
themselves.
making them, yeah. It's like, okay, they're bringing me the money in, they're getting those little quick numbers to make it seem like, oh, my event is popping, but like,
Is
what
it really?
Yeah, is it really? And then on the artist side, I feel like we're comfortable with just seeing our friends, because like maybe they're who's gonna get us hype, and they're who's gonna give us that energy that we're able to feed off of. We don't know how to perform in front of those crowds where they might not like our music, or they might not engage as much. So it's challenging ourselves and putting ourselves in those uncomfortable. I mean, me too. So in those uncomfortable environments.
Always. And I think that like most people in these kind of spaces, like when we're speaking on stuff, like we're speaking for ourselves, and we're also giving ourselves advice a lot of the times too, like always. So I think the next thing that is good to talk about with this is, you have brought up like, how can I grow when I'm performing around the same people? So do you guys think that there's room for growth in Orlando?
100%. 100%. This all no. I mean, I don't know. Y'all making faces because I feel like
I think we all have our own perspectives on it for sure.
I say 100%. And I'm so quick to say that because the minute we're comfortable with getting uncomfortable, we'll be able to grow. Because like even with the whole COVID thing, like we were on that for so long, like literally just like programmed our to be sheltered.
So I definitely think that wherever you are, there is room for growth. However, I do feel like, because everyone's kind of clicked up, and a little bit of what Keith said, like if you're not able to step out of your comfort zone and go to these other events that you don't normally go to, then you're not gonna see any results. And for me, I made a face a little bit, because for me, like, I've been performing since I was 14, and that was in New York. So for me, it's like New York is already really diverse, so I'm used to going to shows and never seeing the same person perform, and never seeing someone that I just saw last weekend performing. It's a whole different, it's real diverse, men, women, grown, young, like it don't matter. It's always something different, R&B, dance, like. Whereas I feel like when you go to certain events in Orlando, you looking for a certain vibe. Like certain cliques come with certain sounds and certain performers.
They know they gonna get it.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like you got that mosh pit crowd, and then you got that R&B crowd. Like, you know what I mean? So it really just depends on, like Keith said, really just being able to be open to a different crowd.
Right.
A different type of music, a different sound is really what it is.
Yeah, I think that there's room. I think that there's room for growth in Orlando, but I think that Orlando needs to grow. Yeah. Like, because right now there's a cap. There is. If you don't have certain knowledge, if you don't have certain connections, like you're just gonna keep doing the same circuits over and over again, and it's not gonna go anywhere. Like, especially if you're not trying new stuff, like all the things that we're saying, like stepping out of the box, everything. But I think that, like I said, I think Orlando needs to grow as well. We have so many open mics and showcases, but not really any educational stuff. And when I did, the reason I don't do my shit anymore, because the artist didn't want it.
Yeah.
I sat for 3 months.
I
sat for 3 months every single week and devoted 2 hours of my time to make sure I was there in case anybody came, for accessible, low cost music industry.
Gyms, like everything you need
like
to know.
Education. And so that's why I'm not doing it, because there's not a want for it, but that's what y'all need. That's what everyone actually needs, because, you know, I know for myself at least, I brought guest speakers into my classes who have relationships and power and connections, who there was opportunity. And I know that there's, like, Jai Yoko is a really great example. She's like, I look up to her very much. She is someone who has been doing it for a while and is like one of the only people in Orlando who consistently do educational work and who bring stuff out like that. And I think that, yeah, we need to see that. And I'm really glad that we're banding together, because I know that we're going to create some really cool spaces and show these people how to do it right.
You know
God.
What I feel like the problem is? I feel like the reason why a lot of artists don't want to tap into the education side of things is because a lot of artists are big-headed. Like, they think they know it all. They think they got it. They think, yeah, I'm lit, I'm up, like their ego is in the way. So because they think they already on it, they don't need no help. They're ignorant. They don't want to learn. They don't want to have some teaching them how to better their stuff, because they feel like, oh, I'm already I see it all the time.
Gassing their the behavior?
I don't.
That's a good question. Obviously, you got.
Sometimes it be people's own ego that's just strong like that too.
Sometimes people, there are just buttholes. Like, some people just suck, and that really is like what it is. And it's one of those things where it's like most cops are buttheads. Like, most artists are to the profession. Like, you have to have certain things about you, and especially in entertainment, like, you got to be a little nutso and not. Shoot, we've been talking for about 20 minutes, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
we're going to listen. Let's listen to Silence first. Let's talk. Let's listen to Gianna's song, Miss Side Princess.
The Baddie Brigade theme song.
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
So with that being said, next up, I am going to be bringing our guest on for his interview, Mr. J the Prodigy. So I'm very excited for that. I'm going to allow y'all to say goodbye real quick, but they will be back later. So
y'all know we gonna be back.
All right.
Oh, are we supposed to be saying bye? It's side. I look like a pretty cat the way I move in silence. Bustin' like a chicken salad, you should come and try it. Money on residual, I watch it stack in private. Booty getting bigger, are you silly? I ain't buying it. Yeah, I know they love me cause I make it look easy. Hating on me, but she know deep down she wanna be me. Smoking on that Zaza, yeah, for breakfast I had Wheaties. Blocking out the haters like I'm blind, just call me Stevie. Real bad bitches only stack it up in silence. Put this money in your mouth, I think that you should try it. Real bad bitches only stack it up in silence. Way I stack my money on the hush, yeah, keep it silent. Real bad bitches only stack it up in silence. Way I stack my money on the low, yeah, keep it silent. Hey.
Esto es Magnifica.
Hey. So we are back, just closing up this segment. So we talked, about just some things in Orlando. We talked about the audience. We talked about, is there room for growth? A little bit about artists and promoters. One thing that I think that we can unequivocally say is that there's a lot of scammers in Orlando. A lot of the promoters, a lot of the showrunners here don't really care about music and are really just trying to make a bag. So with that being said, why is everyone still broke?
The question that seems to have no answer.
So what are some theories? I don't know. It honestly beats me because honestly, I see these men, because it really is mostly men. There's a few girls, but it's mostly men who are charging crazy slot prices, crazy door prices. They're charging these vendors who have nothing to do with their events and who aren't making any money. But they're still, we see no elevation. Right. We see no elevation in them. So I is it the handling of the money? Like, what is it?
Honestly, I feel like it's a mix between poor business planning and investing, and also of being stuck in this hustle mentality that it's just a quick buck. I feel like when you're just getting started into it, like, okay, fine. It could be, you know, you could hustle, you could do your thing. But once you've been doing it for a while and you're established, like, I don't feel like you should be out here trying to get artists. I feel like you should really be trying to, you know, build something for yourself. And I genuinely feel like a lot of times these promoters, like, they put in a lot of money into hosting these shows, so like they charging all these prices to make that money back. So probably at the end of the night they only breaking even. They probably not even really making no money for real off the event.
Which is upsetting when you think about it even more, because we know these people aren't paying their door people. They're not paying their runners.
Free work.
They're probably paying their DJ. They're
Free
probably
work.
paying their DJ. They're probably paying for liquor. They're paying venue prices and equipment. And if you're bringing in that much money in hard cash, ticket sales, slot prices, and you like, something's wrong. So you're not doing your job properly. Like,
Right.
Nah, but Sai, you really said it. Like, I really feel like you, like, hit on the nail with it. Because, like, also, you know, drugs, alcohol, outside of just trying to keep up with the... I mean, I can't even say keep up with the Joneses because they're not fresh. Y'all not fresh out here. So, let's be real. Anyways, I do feel like it comes into important planning and preparation. Like, you can't just keep going, and being in the mindset of, I'm throwing in events. Once you have, like, a season of good events, take that time to rest and reevaluate and rebuild and figure out, like, how you want to maneuver throughout the next season, so you can figure out how to help everybody and how to continue growing. Like, you can't just stop there.
Yeah, because at this point, we're, like... these folks are setting just terrible examples for these artists of what to look up to. Because when I go and I travel and I see, you know, the caliber of work, like, obviously every underground scene, like, we don't have all the resources. Not everything is going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? But when I've been in several scenes where the camaraderie is there, and I've seen it in Orlando. It's just not as prevalent.
Yeah.
But things are done righteously, and I think that's the best way to put it. If people see something needs to be done, they get it done. If people, you know, the people are willing to learn, people are compensated, people, you know, are communicative with each other, and that's what we should. The artists, Orlando artists, the level that they're getting to, when they get to that opener level, you're not at the point where you can be a butthead to everybody. You have to be respectful. You have to work in these environments. You have to be communicative. You have to
take constructive criticism.
Yes, you have to be willing to learn all of that stuff. So that's the kind of environment that we need to start, you know, putting together for these folks. So just continuing to say, I'm so glad that we are here to do that. So with that being said, we are going to officially close out this segment. So I'm going to let you guys say your piece, shout yourselves out. And then, we're going to go ahead and bring on Jay.
Yes. So I will be back. You already know it's your girl Sai. You can follow me on Instagram at Gianna Sai, JIANNASAI. May 21st, I have an all-girls networking event, so please stay tuned for that. And May 30th is going to be my album release party. It is exclusive, invite only, so you know. But looking forward to it. And
if anyone wants to sponsor her release party, let her know.
Yes, for sure.
Magnifica's down. I like that.
Yeah.
There we go. One sponsor down.
I'm gonna always leave y'all off with like a little saying or a quote. Be the you that the world needs you to be. Like, don't be nobody else. Just be yourself. So it's your girl Kiara Lene, KIARAALANEE. Upcoming events I have going on are R&B Soulful Seafood Nights on Wednesdays. We're going to be popping it out on April 26th. I hope to see you guys there.
Yay.
All right. I'll see y'all on the flip side.
Later.
We out.
Esto es Magnífica.